Goals, loving every bit of it. Another kick for Hebbard coming up. Mark and kick, build the stats. Surlis makes ground right in the middle of the ground. Will he go laterally? No, he won't. He'll go long this time. Out comes Eads from the lead. Up they go. Eads can't get to the ball. In comes Treadwell. Feigns a kick, then goes and bounces off a tackle. Helicopters the ball back to Hebbard. He can't reach it. In comes Young Cross. He's got the ball. No, he hasn't. He's been tackled by two. He keeps the ball in, but for some reason he's got a free kick. I don't know what it was, but we'll give him the kick anyway. He's in front. He chips inboard Omadai. He takes one step and he's nearly run down. He goes over the head of Kendall, and Surlis chips in to take the mark. Let's move it on, he said. Back out to the wing. Cross is in the forward seat here if he can get hold of the ball. Stands his ground manfully. Well done. Tackles Hebbard. Hebbard's dribbled the ball away from him. In a hand pass, it comes up to Omadai. Omadai over to Cheswell. Cheswell gives it over to Wilson. Wilson gets it over towards Cheswell. He chips it up towards
good mark.
Kendall. Kendall sends the ball over to Neil. He's not going to make it, and in comes Kane to relieve the pressure. Will he gather it? No, he won't. He's messed it up. He's knocked it forward. He's got numbers. Out the ball comes to Bennell. Bennell goes wide towards Treasure and Martindale. This will be a duel, and Martindale, the ever over the back defensive football, puts a big fist to the ball and pounds it over the boundary line. One minute to go in the 2001 Bundaberg Rum Grand Final. The Bulldogs first in 18 or 19 years. Up they go. Cheswell gets a knock down to Davies. Davies goes one way, bets back onto his right and gets a little kick up that doesn't carry to Kendall. Gets a good smart hand pass and Shepherds to Omadai. Omadai looks up towards the goal and up towards Shepherds. Shepherds over the back, but the Bunbury player in Milner. Milner knocks the ball over the line and out of bounds for a throw in the right forward pocket in the dying seconds of this grand final, where the Bulldogs have reigned supreme. First in and they've won it. First in the grand final, had the rest. Donnybrook did it the hard way. They're doing it hard today. In comes Kendall, grabs the ball out of the ruck, throw in. Has a snap on goal. The siren goes. 1 point is the man. And the mighty Bulldogs have reigned supreme at Hands Oval in the 2001 Bundaberg Rum Grand Final. They win 16-11, 108, 16-11, 107 to 11-7. Is the Dons, and I haven't worked that one out.
I'll have the 8, might be 12.
Well, Shane, the Bulldogs obviously be a happy camp. You got to be when you win convincing like they did. Peter Betty's come back to the helm a year out of footy, sitting on the sidelines. He got itchy feet, and the Bulldogs took him back on, and they've reaped the rewards. Donnybrook, to their credit, 5 grand finals in succession, bookends from the first and the last. Great effort from that club in any circumstances. Doesn't matter who you are. They went down fighting. They were gallant in the end, but the Bulldogs far too strong on the day.
Yeah, congratulations to the Bulldogs, and just a little thought for Jamie too, who had a great year with the club, and unfortunately couldn't come up for today, but he would be a wrap, tickle pink. Yeah, the boys did extremely well. They definitely were the quicker side, the fitter side of the day. And as I said earlier, the Dons, I think, found it a pretty hard campaign in the finals. Bunbury had a pretty easy run. And weather-wise today, pretty warm. They ran well. They found space. They used the ball, and their skills, I thought, were a little bit better than Donnybrook. And when they did go forward, they had a more open forward line and found their men and then kicked goals when required. And that really had that little bit of a run on their second quarter and basically started to blow the game away. But well done.
Yeah, second quarter, and they blew it open with 7 goals to 3 and got that little break. Obviously set up the game for the Bulldogs and give them a handy break going into the second half. But Darryl, how did you see your players, better players on the day?
Well, I think overall, Ray, it was the Bulldogs' defence that held sway today. I think that basically a very well-knit defence down there kept the Donnybrook forwards under wraps for most of the day. But I think overall, probably the toss-up for the pipe medal could be between Jason Treasure, who played on the wing, half forward and on the ball, and did quite a bit of damage. Also Jeff Narkle in defence, who did some outstanding things. Had a bit of a tough time with Matt Kendall a bit in the second half, but he played a particularly good game. The old warhorse in the centre, Brett Glass, played a very serviceable game throughout, showed his experience. Billy Bennell in the defence was a good defender, very tight. Greg Evell on the half-back flank also was good. The Shane Narney, Kim Eads combination up forward, they both kicked 4. So they were a fairly potent force. And Brett Milner, I think, and Craig Reamers were others who played a significant part in the game. For the Dons, I think their best player was, almost without doubt, was Carl Triggle, who played...
no argument there.
At centre-half forward on occasions in defence, kicked some goals and sort of was one clear ball handler all day. Mick Omaday was a workhorse that did a lot of good things. Glenn Davies was another one who popped up with plenty of the ball around the grounds. Brendan Gibbs tried hard. Matt Kendall had a reasonable game and also was very inspiring in the second half. Hayden Martindale played solidly. Dean Irving as well, who got plenty of hit-outs, didn't get that many kicks around the ground, but gave a drive. And also Craig Chiswell, who seemed to spend a lot of time off the ball, but when he was on the ball certainly had an influence. But overall, I think it was the Bulldogs' defence that kept the Donnybrook forwards under pressure, didn't allow them the freedom, and then as a result they were able to get the ball down into their attack often enough to kick the winning goals.
Yeah, Bulldogs very even side, I thought, in the day. Had players good in the first half and faded a bit in the second, but overall it was very even, and I think that was the difference between them and Donnybrook, that Donnybrook just really didn't come up in after their hard finals campaign.
No, I think they had a couple of struggling. They lost Adrian Proctor obviously to injury too. He had a good first quarter, but then I think he wasn't on the ground much in the second half at all, so he was one that was injured. One player for Bunbury I think that will probably get a lot of satisfaction out of today's game would be Scotty Hoff, who hasn't played particularly well in the other grand finals, but I thought he did a very good job today, so he'd be one player I think that'll be wearing a big smile tonight.
Yeah, we'll have a few counterparts over there in Bulldog land, with Peter Betty becoming the master coach, another grand final to his credit. Bulldogs last half of the season, I think that's 13 wins on end, is that right, for the to finish the season off?
I think they lost around about round 7. I think they lost to Kerry Park, and I don't think they've lost a game since.
Well, they played some big ones, and they've had a long time between drinks. 1983, when Peter Betty was last at the helm down at Bunbury, and he's come back a couple of years ago, 98 and 99 against Donnybrook, and Donnybrook proved too strong, so I suppose they've got a little bit of revenge back as far as that's concerned, but I don't think that would have been on the agenda. It was more of the fact that they just wanted to win the grand final, irrespective of who they were playing, obviously, and good luck to Peter and the boys and the administration of the club to get him back there, whether by good luck that he wanted to come back and appointing him for the job.
And I think they certainly got a lot out of their players. There's been a few of those players played a lot of games, and premiership successes eluded them. Guys like Craig Reamers, I think, played in both the other losing grand finals. Chris O'Keefe would have played in those, and he played a serviceable game as well. So if you look down their list, there's probably, I think there's about 8 that played in those. Johnny Manell played in those ones as well, and he had a fair game today, although I think he was another one that was affected by injury as the game went on. Scott Elson's a player that will probably be pretty pleased as well to come in, an ex-Boomers player, and I think he played in Boyart Brook for a while, but he'd be pretty pleased. Paul Milner and Brett Milner, who were part of Bustle's premiership success, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they would have had a medallion each. It's ironic that you look at some of the Bunbury players you say that played in a couple of losing grand finals. Imagine Remus and Garrett Kane, probably Glass, would have been representing Boyne up in 1990 when they lost under Peter Betty as well.
Yeah, they would have been there. One young player that had a good game early on in the game today, Bo Tan. He's only about 17 years of age, but he's another one who played fairly well. And I think Lee Ward was serviceable, having come back from injury this season.
Oh, I thought he did a manful job in the ruck, given that he might not have won many ruck knockouts against Chiswell and Irving, but he did the job, and he offered a bit around the ground. He probably got stronger as the game went on as far as his run in his legs. Played a very good last quarter, I thought, and he fought his way out in the ruck, and he just made it hard for the big men anyway, irrespective of the number of ruck knocks that he got, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's a player that may have been underrated by the Dons, but I think they knew enough about him to know that he had the ability to play it pretty well around the ground.
Well, the Bunbury Footy Club moving over towards the dais, and very soon I imagine we'll find out the winner of the Pike medal.
Who's your tip, Ray?
I'm going for O'Keefe.
O'Keefe?
O'Keefe.
Well, I think it'll be either Treasure, Narkle or Trigwell. I mean, one of those three, I think.
Well, I certainly wouldn't have an argument against either of them, but we'll see what sort of judges we are. The Trig will certainly a standout for Donnybrook. Gibbs went a little bit quiet in the second half, but still did his job on Hebbard. And Hebbard was never an influential player, really, compared to what he's been. But maybe the emphasis was put on him, and other Bunbury players ran free. And guys like Treasure, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Bunbury in the last 12 months, but I reckon that would be close to Jason Treasure's best game for the club. And what a game to play it in.
Well, he's a player that came this year to West Farmers and played fairly well up there on the chances that he had. Played on a wing, I think, from memory, but he's an up-and-coming player. Plenty of pace, pretty good ball handling skills, and knows where to go. So he'd be a worthy winner if he does take it out.
Well, the ground announcer's got the control, and we'll wait and see. We'll give a bit of a rundown on each player as they come up with their medallion once that gets underway, and we'll see who the Pike medalist. The notorious Les Pike. If you've ever been to a league wind-up and listened to this man, you've got a big act to follow when he finishes. Well, I knew he'd tell us which number medal it was.
It's been 45th before.
Oh, he might have taken one back. Well, it's a dead heat to start with. Oh, I heard the Jason Treasure. Was there another one? Well, I did say, was there a count back, and that was when he won it on a count back, maybe. But Jason Treasure, well, no arguments with that. I said earlier, I think he's kicked 3 goals from a half-forward flank, and he's played what I believe was certainly the best game I've seen him play, whether that's true or not. Great game to play it in, and well done to Jason Treasure. Joins an illustrious group of players to win the Pike medal in the grand final in the South West Footy League. About to present the medallions to each individual player, but Les Pike's decided he wants a bit more of the microphone. Oh, what an achievement from Brett Glass.
Brett Glass has already won a Pike medal in the grand final.
He has, yes. In a losing side with what is now the Eton Boomers, was BCD. Well, if they are given 2 medals, he'd certainly be the oldest one to win one.